Hey Fiend, Steve here at the top. I think it goes without saying, but I wanted to give a little bit of a spoiler bumper at the top. We will be discussing spoilers for Rogue One, a Star Wars story, throughout the review of this Andor coverage. It's a little hard not to. So if you haven't seen that movie for whatever reason, maybe go watch that first and then come back and listen to this episode. Because we got some fun stuff, but we didn't want to spoil that movie for you in the rare case that you've only seen Andor and not that movie. So just that's your warning. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back. My name is Steve.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Steve, and this is Streaming Things, streaming Andor the final time.
So sad.
I know. This week we're doing episodes 10 through 12 of Andor Season 2. And it's been a long road. Actually, not a long road at all. It's been quite fast.
I feel like it's gone by in a flash.
It really has. We had like a really solid month of merriment and Star Wars mirth. But it's been super fun to do that because
I know
we get to hang out.
I know. I'm
we had more cookies.
Well, yeah. So I was going to bring that up. I'm a little bit feeling bad physically from those cookies from last night.
Are you really?
Yeah.
How many cookies you have?
I ate like half the pack. A monster.
Well, listener, thank you for joining us on this Star Wars adventure. I want to remind you at the top of the show that if you're listening to our The Last of Us coverage that drops on Monday, Andy's back. I just did an episode with Andy. Kit should be back soon. Kit is currently at the Cannes Film Festival in France, where he's rubbing elbows with celebrity and watching really cool films. So when he comes back next week, it's going to be really exciting. Can't wait to hear how his adventures over there went. So very proud of him. He's doing so many cool things.
Good job, Kit.
Yeah, and he deserves it. He's a good egg. But if you're listening to the Last of Us coverage, you might want to get your hands on some Last of Us Streaming Things merch. I am wearing the shirt.
There he goes.
Look at that.
Sniper tone.
Sniper tones on the shirt. It kind of, the shirt reminds me of like if you crossed like a boxing poster with Nickelodeon.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, well, I think it's the green and the orange.
Oh, for sure. The green and orange is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
With the like slimy shape.
Yeah.
It's cool.
This is a bad moment to say that we have slime rigged up in the ceiling above us, and at any point we could get slimed.
Oh, no.
Also, if you like what we do on The Last of Us and here on Andor, you can always support the show by going to patreon.com/streamingthings to get a variety of perks like ad-free episodes.
Yes.
Bonus content, including our Game of Thrones rewatch. And we're starting our May movie month where we pick a random movie each month and release an episode on it. This week's episode is Hook. Ooh. I think that comes out tomorrow as of recording. But if you can't throw money our way, that's okay. We love you. We just need some 5-star. Give us a 5-star review.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. But if you can't even do that, we still love you anyway because you're here. And you're here. And you're here right now. This night. Remember it. But, Phil, we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dive in with these 3 episodes.
This is a loaded 3-ep arc here.
So let's just get Gonk in here.
Oh, jeez.
Right at the top for our MadLibs section. Hi, Gonk. How you doing today? Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. That's quite wholesome, actually. We're happy you're here too.
Yes.
Well, are you ready?
Yeah.
To give me the word so I can put the pen to the paper and we can craft a story together using the official Star Wars Droids MadLibs?
Let's do it.
Phil, I'm going to ask you first for a verb past tense.
Let's go with explored.
Gonk, can you give me a part of the body, just not plural? Inner thigh. Okay. That's so specific. Can I have a noun, Phil?
I'm going with ball gag.
Gag?
Look, I'm keeping it on theme with Gonk. So
maybe he's rubbed off on you.
I think he's rubbed. Ew.
Whoa, Gonk, settle down. Gonk, settle down.
That is you do not have consent to rub off on me.
Gonk, can I have a verb, please? Nibble. Phil, can I have a noun, please?
I'm going to go with paddle.
For like pleasure.
Yeah, sure. A pleasure paddle.
Pleasure paddle?
Yeah, a pleasure paddle.
Gonk, can I have a verb ending in ing, please? Grinding. Okay, you guys are on the same wavelength today.
Like father, like son.
Phil, can I have an adjective, please?
Swollen.
Gonk, can I have an adjective from you? Quivering. I don't like that. I don't like quivering. I don't like it. Oh no, and this comes right after quivering, Phil. I need a part of the body.
Outer thigh.
Outer thigh? Do you really want outer thigh?
No. Let's go with booty cheek.
Gonk, can I have a plural noun, please? Silk robes. I love that I'm asking you guys for like nouns, adjectives, and all that, and you're just like, here's a bunch of words. Here's a noun with a qualifier.
We're gonna judge these as much as we can because we know that this is the last one that we're gonna do. Just going full blast.
Well, speaking of full blast, Phil, can I have a verb ending in ing?
Blast. Blasting.
Blasting? Okay.
There you go.
Gonk, can I have an exclamation?
Gonk.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Gonk. Great. I have written it in all caps like you specified.
Thank you.
Phil, can I have a number?
42.
Gonk, can I have a part of the body? Lower back.
Okay.
Phil, give me a color. Colonial Pews.
Come on, man.
Okay, sorry. I shouldn't even ask you that at this point.
There's absolutely no reason to ask me.
Who was that? Oh, Gonk. I need a noun from you now.
Did you forget Gonk's name for a minute?
No, I forgot the order.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember if you went last or you went last.
Like, what's your name again? Andy or
Gonk?
Gonk, sorry.
Cocktail shaker. We were actually talking about making a cocktail, some Revnog.
Yeah, some Revnog.
If any of you guys got some ideas for a Revnog cocktail, send them in.
It's got to be like a rum-based thing, right? Like a tiki.
Or Everclear. Phil, can I have a verb?
To keep it on brand, let's go with stroke.
And last but not least, Gonk, you have the honor of giving us the last word, and I need it to be an adjective, please.
Make it good, Gonk.
Glistening.
Okay.
All right. It begins with a G. I like it. All right, everybody, stay tuned to the very end of the episode so you can listen to the story that Phil and Gonk created, a story called Terrible Negotiator.
Oof.
Oh, I'm sorry. Terrible Interrogator. Very different.
It is.
But Phil, we're here to talk the Andor Season 2 finale. Give me your overall thoughts. What did you think about these sets of episodes?
Well, last week we discussed how we were unsure how the last 3 episodes would play out. And I got to say, I'm extremely pleased with the finale to this show. The way it butts up right up to Rogue One. And then the way Rogue One butts right up to A New Hope. Mm-hmm. I just love how they're not wasting any time at the end of this show. And I honestly think that maybe the last 3 episodes of this, from BBY1 to the end of A New Hope, that could be all one thing if you watched it all. So I'm actually pretty excited to try that out at some point. I am going to watch Rogue One tonight because I really wanted to start Rogue One immediately after the end of this.
Yeah, I love how Disney Plus knew you would, because immediately it's like, you want to watch Rogue One while the credits are rolling?
Yes.
Like, we know you do.
Yes.
Just go on.
I do. Yes. But it was also like 11:30 and we had to get up early for this. So I was like, I should probably wait.
Yeah.
But I really, really love how the end of this plays out. And I think the jump at the beginning of season 10, another year, makes a lot of sense, because Cassian and K2 and Melshi have time to sort of form a new bond with each other so that K2 feels more like himself in Rogue One at the beginning of episode 10.
You can tell that they've got like a nice little friendship group going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Mon Mothma has had time to acclimate to life outside of her previous life in the Rebel world. So you basically skip all the awkwardness of that. I really think the time jump here at the beginning of episode 10 makes a lot of sense, because every 3 episodes they jump.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a really interesting strategic way to tell this story, because you have to fit a lot in, but if it were all within 1 year, it might feel a little bit fast. So I like the fact that they're just like, we're just going to jump, just jump. We have a story to tell. We have details to flesh out, but the uninteresting bits don't matter. Let's just skip all those and get right to the meat of the story. And I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the end of Luthen was really good. I wasn't expecting to get so much time with Clea, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So
they really showcase how important Clea is to the whole operation.
And I mean, like, we knew that she was a big deal, but we get backstory here that I did not expect to get at all. So I'm really pleased about that. And of course, more K2 doing K2 things. I love that.
Oh my God. K2SO is on one. And I fucking love him so much.
And we get some resolution with Bix as well. So it's just, I think this is the perfect way to end this series without undoing any of the magic of Rogue One. So I'm very pleased. 10 out of 10. I think this is a great season of this show. I don't really know if I like it more or less than season 1. I kind of don't think I should rank them. I think they're all just one thing. Yeah. Like, I really don't think I can say for sure whether or not I enjoyed this one more or less. So I'm not gonna. Just gonna say Andor as a 2-season show is amazing. And I think it should be viewed as one thing. So just really, really pleased, especially since most of the Star Wars shows up to this point have not been shows that I've necessarily enjoyed that much, with the exception of Skeleton Crew. I did enjoy that.
Skeleton Crew is awesome.
Very much a different vibe than this one. But but I will say that I honestly think Andor is not a perfect show, but damn near close to it. Yeah. In my mind. So very, very pleased. What about you?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal filmmaking. This is not just a good Star Wars movie or a good Star Wars show. This is an amazing show, period.
Yeah.
Like, if you remove the Star Wars out of it, it's an amazing show.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely seminal, and it's coming out at a time that I think is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the world wants this type of content, and the world's getting it.
Yeah.
And we're all happy to have it, you know?
Yes.
And I think they wrapped up a lot of things so perfectly. A lot of the characters have perfect endings. Like, what happens with Luthen, I think there's no other way that character could have gone out that would have made me happier. I knew he was not going to be long for this world. His monologue from the first season showed you exactly where he was going to end up. And he knew it. He knew this was, he was always going to never see the Empire topple, but he was going to die trying, right? But I love that even the way he died, it wasn't, the Empire didn't do it.
Right.
And I think that's great. Like,
he went out on kind of his own terms.
Yeah. And some of the Imperial officers that we have grown to love, it's kind of interesting. There are several Imperial officers in the show. I mean, we were kind of somewhat even rooting for a couple characters in the first season, like Dedra Miro.
Yeah. Which is crazy because she's not good.
Yeah, she's like the main antagonist of the series.
Yeah. But you spend so much time with her that you can't help but kind of root for her in a weird way.
Yeah, and they do a great job of making her this character that, she's on the bad guy side, but you're like, why are they ignoring her? She's clearly the smartest person in that room.
Right.
She's the dopest person. And then Partagaz learns that. And so because he supports her, you're kind of like, Partagaz is a cool Imperial guy if there was one.
Yeah.
And then the way that those two characters end up getting betrayed by the whole entire ideology that they've dedicated their entire lives to.
Yeah.
And they realize until way too late that they've been working towards their own demise is insane. I love that every little piece of the puzzle that we get introduced to how the rebellion learns about the Death Star.
Yeah.
It's always great world building, but I love how if you trail it all back to the very first instance of information, it's because Dedra was tagged in emails she wasn't supposed to get.
Pretty much.
I fucking love that.
She was in the Signal group chat that she should not have been in.
Yeah. And she was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I want to know what we're doing. And then the other characters, and I love how we know what happens to Andor and
we do?
K2 in Rogue One and a couple other characters. And spoilers for that show. I don't know why you're watching and listening to this if you haven't seen Rogue One, but spoilers for that. Skip ahead a couple minutes if you haven't. But spoilers for that. It doesn't end well.
No, it doesn't.
But I do appreciate how this show sort of keeps that hope alive. Like, even though like this is a bleak story and we know it ends in a very bad way, it ends with this symbol of hope that life is going to go on. The Empire's not going to win. Yeah. And they kind of had this ending with Nemec's manifesto that sort of reiterates the main point, like freedom will always persist as long as people exist. Yeah. There's a lot of moments like that sort of come around either from season 1 or previous episodes this season that really cement a lot of these characters' journeys.
Yeah.
And then one final thing I really want to emphasize is with this specific trio of episodes, this is a beautiful show overall. Cinematography's always been amazing. I think this particular grouping of episodes have beautiful composition in terms of actor blocking.
Yeah.
So like there's a moment in, I think it's the scene with Luthen and Lonnie where they're talking about like, what is it? What do they have? You got to tell me, Lonnie. Oh, I need protection. They like break the 180 rule, which is, you know, you rarely ever see that in shows, but the way they break that rule is like, oh, okay. It makes sense for the story they're telling. It's visual storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's fucking amazing. I love it when shows actually realize, oh, we have a camera. Let's do visual storytelling other than like, look at this pretty shot. They are very intentional about where they're placing actors in the frame of the camera to further the story they're telling. This person doesn't have power in the scene, so we're going to make them very small and in the corner.
Yeah.
We're going to cut off the tops of heads. a lot like Krennic's headroom. You don't see his face. You see the bottom of his jaw, so it makes him more menacing and cold. Yeah. Same with K2SO. They do that a bunch.
Yep.
It's very effective.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate that about these series of episodes. So let's get into the recap. Get into it. But before we do, let's do some ads. And we're back. We're going to break down all 3 episodes of this batch, starting with episode number 10, Make It Stop.
How does Disney Plus describe this?
Well, Phil, I'm glad you asked. Disney Plus describes this thusly. Lonnie Young taps out. Daedra closes in. Luthen scrambles. Clea delivers.
Yeah.
She's on Uber Eats.
Yes, she is.
Give her 5 stars. I'm just saying, if Clea was a delivery driver, she would rock it.
She would.
But it's yet another year later. We're at 1 BBY.
1 big butts, yes.
1 big butts, yes. We're getting closer and closer to the story of Rogue One. We see an emergency signal lighting up in Luthen's shop. Clea sees it. This is from Lonnie at the ISB. He's found something very important and he needs to meet Luthen now.
No time to waste.
No time to waste. This is it. Apparently, this is like the emergency code red signal because Clea and Luthen both are like, let's get all the guns. Let's get ready to go. We're going to probably have to burn this place.
The nuclear clock has reached midnight.
Ooh, good pull on the nuclear clock. Fellow Watchmen fan? I'm kidding.
Fellow living in reality fan?
Clea is pleading to Luthen, hey, if it doesn't look perfect, don't engage. And he says, we've used all of the perfect.
Yeah.
So they're very well aware they have overextended their stay on Coruscant, it seems.
Yes.
But he meets Lonnie in a park, a very public place, and Lonnie's looking pretty scared.
Yeah. He's not in a good way.
You've rung a big bell, Lonnie. What do you got for me? And he says that he was worried about he was worried about Luthen because Daedra was asking a friend because they're going to have a team and some sort of operation on Coruscant. And he's worried that he's going to come after him. Mm-hmm. And Lonnie says he's burned. He found out all this information because he stole Daedra's codes and kind of hacked into her terminal and
he's
read
had
all
this
her emails
whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but I didn't want to let you know that because you would have exploited my access.
Yeah.
So,
and if he does this, there's no going back, but he finally does it because he's worried about Luthen. But while he's in there, he stumbles upon a bunch of information about what we know is the Death Star.
A huge bomb.
Mm-hmm. Again, because Daedra's been getting forwarded. She's been added to email chains she's not supposed to be on.
Yeah.
And he's like, before I tell you what I know, you got to promise me you're going to get my family out safely. And he's like, sure, Lonnie, whatever. Wuss, tell me what you know. And he eventually tells him, this is what we're up against. The entire energy program is a lie. Gorman was a cover to strip mine the planet. They're not looking for partisans on Jedha. They're getting the Kyber crystals from Jedha. And they're using Galen Erso, this engineer, to tie it all together. Colonel Yularen wasn't even told about all this shit until a month ago. Krennic has been building this for an entire decade. This is everything we've been fighting for, and we didn't even know it.
The fact that they kept this quiet for 10 years is huge, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's monumental to hide something of this scale from the public eye.
In space, too. Like, it's not a small thing. Like, it's like you can see it from a very long distance away, too. So the fact that this has gone undiscovered for this long is huge.
He tells Lonnie, this is great, Lonnie. We're going to be going to Yavin. As soon as Luthen told him you're going to Yavin, that was the first time, like, ooh, that doesn't... Why would Luthen wouldn't just say that to someone? That sounds...
Yeah.
It's because he just killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been Luthened. Luthen gives him the cold treatment. As we know about him, he is more of a means to an end guy, and he ties up that loose end.
I like the way they film it because he's like, we're going to go to Yavin. Cut to Luthen walking away, cut back to the park. And it kind of gives you a little bit of a moment like, is Lonnie still in the park? Is that dude who's walking their loft cat?
Yeah.
Is that like an assassin that's like, I know it was you? And beep, beep. Oh no, Lonnie's already dead.
Yeah. He's got a blast in his chest.
Can I just say, I love that we learned that the loft cat's name is Pix. We did not need to know that information, but I love it.
Update the Wikipedia article on Lothcat. Pix is the most
manic pixie
well-known
Lothcat.
Lothcat at this point.
So Luthen talks to Clea again. They're both in public. I like how they're standing still in the middle of a crossway and everyone's just walking around. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah, they're having like a very private conversation in the most public way. They're like on the stairs, right?
They're hiding in plain sight. Hiding in plain sight. He's going to go burn all the stuff at the shop.
Yeah.
But he also is telling her all the information that Lonnie just told him. Like, remember it. The Jedha, Gorman, Death Star. Well, he doesn't say Death Star. Kyber crystals, all that stuff.
A weapon.
We need to know this. So he sends her off, much to her chagrin, because she's like, I'll be faster. No, you go. Promise me you'll go.
Yeah.
And we cut to him. He's at the shop. He's pouring like this cool acid or metallic liquid on their radio. It's super neat. And just then the doorbell rings.
Ding dong.
Now, as the butthole guy, did your butthole pucker up when that doorbell sounded?
Not immediately, because I thought like maybe it's an ally coming to
it's Cassian again.
Yeah, maybe.
Where's Bix?
Maybe. But I didn't understand why he like immediately went to the door. Like he's like mid pour. Like I would have just dumped the rest of it on the thing. And like answering a doorbell. I don't know the last time you've answered a doorbell when you weren't expecting somebody, but
never.
Yeah, like
never.
And like the shop is more or less closed at this moment too. So like he could have just kept going.
I don't know. It's during operating hours.
Maybe. But yeah. So, but he did seem to get enough on the board to do the damage that he needed to do, at least in the short term.
Yeah. And plus we learned later that he deleted all their files of contacts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But who's at the door? Dedra Mira. Ooh.
In a mode that we have rarely seen her in too. She's sort of curious and chipper.
Yeah.
Which is never a good sign for her.
It's so peaceful here.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how happy it makes me to hear that.
She walks in with a suitcase as well and shows interest in the items that he has.
What were you thinking in this moment when she walked in?
I mean,
I think we turned to each other at one point. Like, wouldn't it be funny if she was honestly just like, I'm looking for a Nautilin bleeder. Do you have one?
Yeah, right. I think it's pretty obvious why she's there. It wasn't a big surprise when she shifts gears. Yeah. But it is very tense from the moment she steps inside to the moment that the scene ends. It's very tense.
I really like this bit where she asks him, is everything in here real?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's a wise question. There are only 2 pieces of questionable providence here in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool line because we, the audience, know he's talking about like himself.
Yeah.
Maybe her, maybe he's actually is talking about the bleeder as well.
Yeah.
But like, we definitely know he's talking about himself. Like, I have of questionable providence for sure.
Right.
Here's this Nautolan bleeder. It's
Yeah.
centuries old. We don't know the tension mounts if it's still real or not.
Now, a Nautolan is Kit Fisto, right? That's the
I believe so, yeah.
species.
Yes. So if you love that cool smiling green Jedi from Attack of the Clones
Nautolan.
and Revenge of the Sith, that is a Nautolan. But she's like, hey, I've got something for you. I got something for your backpipe. And she pulls out that briefcase, opens it up, and it's the original Starpath unit that he met to get from Cassian in the first group of episodes in season 1 that they had to leave behind.
Yes.
And she's like, I've dreamt of this moment, and you were here all that time.
And he doesn't miss a beat. He's like, I'm immediately going to give up the guys here and just go full into himself.
Yeah, freedom scares you. Look around you. The rebellion isn't here anymore. It's flown away. It's everyone now.
Yeah.
There's a whole galaxy out there waiting to disgust you. Oh,
yeah.
That's such a good line.
I know, it's good. It's really good.
Man. But then Daedric sort of sees the smoking radio in the back, and he turns around while she's distracted and
he knives himself
with that Nautolan bleeder.
That is one of the hardest ways we've seen anybody go.
Especially in a Star Wars movie.
I know.
I'm just going to stab myself with just a regular ass knife.
That is rugged, man.
Not a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Not like a silly little knife, but really it's a lightsaber that they keep making. No, this knife is made of fucking rock, I think. It looked like.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Oof.
And he stabs himself, and Daedra's like, oh, I need him alive. Everyone move in. So the Empire sort of crushes, like swarms the place.
Yeah.
I love their little droid gurney.
Yeah. That was cool. It was like an astromech built into the slab.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Can you imagine those psychopaths on your gurney if you're getting sent to the hospital and you've got like R2-D2 back there going, wow.
Beep, boop, beep.
I know R2. We need scalpel stat. Yeah. And Clea watches it all happen with the crowd.
She's crushed. I like this scene because they show the imps like putting things into bags. So the Ziploc bag is canonical Star Wars now. So,
oh yeah, love that.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, I was laughing because I just realized my iPad autocorrected Heert to Herbert.
Amazing.
It says Herbert wonders about why the meeting is done. So yeah, we cut to the ISB. The I don't know, you call that little council meeting of the ISB guys. It's leaving and Heert's
it's that, like,
late.
white room, right?
Yeah. Like Partagaz's party house.
There you go.
And he runs into Legret and like, oh, Partagaz is looking for you. Oh, get in here, Heert. And they go in there and Partagaz updates him about how Miro called a raid today. Oh, I thought you meant you were upset because Young's dead. What? He's dead. Yeah, he was killed, found in a park across town. Holy
What is going on?
There's Coruscant's a madhouse today.
Very bad day for the ISB.
I knew I should have called in sick today. Yeah, the Imperials are cataloging shit. The radio is burnt up. We see a bunch of cool shots of the shop. I did notice a stone that relates to the Mortis storyline from Clone Wars. Don't ask.
I won't.
That is a deep Clone Wars Rebels cut. But like the stone that has like the hands in different position, that represents the father, the son, and the daughter. And they're like the 3 beings that are consequential to the Force. It's not my favorite storyline. I know a lot of people like the Mortis storyline. I don't. But Clea goes back to the Heidi apartment and
safe house.
Yeah, the safe house. That's a better word for it.
I don't know. I kind of like the way that you dubbed it just then.
Everyone needs to do the Heidi apartment. And she's breaking into the wall, right? And as she's doing that, she's getting flashbacks of how she met Luthen. So Luthen was apparently a part of some Imperial task force very early on. And you can hear over the radio that he's of the group he's a part of that they're doing some sort of awful shit where they're going
really bad
room
shit.
to room, just killing everybody. Like you can hear people like, where do they think they're running from?
I think it says like, if it moves, kill it.
Yeah.
I did not expect this much backstory to her, but I was delighted when this episode decided to go down this route.
It contextualizes their relationship quite a bit.
It does.
A lot of people were like, is she his daughter?
Yeah.
What is she to him? And effectively, she kind of is.
Yeah.
Like an adopted daughter.
She is to him what Cassian was to Marva.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing. He finds her and sort of takes her under his wing.
And we find out that he's like the pilot of this group and he's purposely sabotaging the mission because they want the ship to go up so he can strafe more civilians. But he's like, it's recycling. What can I do? And we at one point see him sitting down. He's drinking from his flask. He's like, make it stop. Roshne Lutz.
He turns off his mic as well.
And I love that dude's like, your mic's off, by the way. I know. Turn it off. But he spots Clea in the hidey hole.
Yeah.
And this is such a touching scene because I feel like I want to know how you read this because I read it like he's this guy. He hates what he's doing. He knows it's wrong. He feels powerless. And then when he sees this little girl, that activates him to be this rebel to make it stop.
Yes.
Like, cause he's like asking for someone to make it stop.
Yeah.
He sees her and he decides I have to be the one that makes it stop.
I think that's right. I think he was struggling with his moral code at that point, and then seeing her just like helped him focus in on what mattered to him. And it centered him in a way that I think up to that point we see him like a bit lost at sea. Like he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to keep doing what they're doing, but he also knows he's between a rock and a hard place at the moment because he can't back out. Mm-hmm. So this gives him a reason to follow what he innately knows is right. Great scene.
Yeah. Back in the present day, we see Clea clock the hospital building that they're keeping Luthen, and Daedra's in there with him. He's in some very white room. There's some sort of machine that's coming down from the ceiling that's keeping him alive at the moment.
Iron lung of some sort.
Yeah.
Because
we haven't used this since polio.
I assume he knifed himself in the chest, so that may have punctured a lung.
And it's a bleeder, so it might be some weird Star Wars lore that, this blade will continuously open a wound or some shit. You'll always be bleeding.
Keeps you from healing.
Yeah. It was really disgusting, actually. There's a lot of germs floating in that guy's
dirty
body.
Blade.
And Daedra's like, hey, clear all these patients. We need the floor. The doctor's like, those are my patients. Oh, cool. So you'll do a better job of moving them than we will.
Yeah.
Oh, ice cold.
She's a turd, man. She is.
She's a turd.
She's a turd.
Look at that scowl.
So mean.
Clea enters. I like how she made the effort to make a boo-boo hand.
Yeah.
So she had a boo-boo hand. My boo-boo hand. She has this dope fucking lockpick device. Mm-hmm. And she goes into the nurses' quarters and is breaking into people's lockers. The lockers are like big giant balls on the wall. Yeah. God, this show's so cool.
I know.
Like, I've never watched a show and geeked out about lockers.
True.
In one scene, I geek about someone's lockpick and a locker.
It's pretty cool.
Fucking, and some nurse is like, man, what a bad day. The hospital blew up. The ISB's on our ass, but at least I can enjoy a fresh pair of smocks. Aw, son of a bitch.
Scrubs.
Oh, did I say smocks?
Smocks.
Smocks. But yeah, she steals some scrubs so she can be undercover.
She does want some scrubs.
A scrub is a
outfit that can get some love from her.
Yes. Supervisor Piss Boy arrives.
Piss Boy, yay!
So it took us 2 seasons, but for whatever reason,
we got there.
When I was writing my notes, it just felt so natural to call Hirt Supervisor Piss Boy.
He's just got that vibe.
He does. He's looking like a Temu Jake Gyllenhaal walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
And he big mad. He confronts Daedra and is like, this is my case.
You did this on my day off.
Yeah. I was having a great pickleball day.
Pickleball. Oh no.
And you ruined it for me. And he's going to put her under arrest. He brought like the ISB marshal and everything. Partagaz sent him because she's overstepped.
She's gone rogue.
Yeah, she's completely overstepped in her abilities in her own office.
Which, I mean, we know that like technically if she had been left in charge, it probably would have been bad for the rebellion.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, they kneecapped themselves by putting her behind bars, but
yeah, they really did. I think it's one of those things where a lot of fascistic governments end up killing their best and brightest minds out of fear that they'll be replaced and ego, right? Yeah. And this show is showing exactly like two of your best and brightest minds.
Yeah.
Partagaz, Jedha find themselves on the opposite end. They find themselves at the heel of the Empire.
Yes. And more specifically, Captain Piss Boy.
Yeah, Captain Piss Boy is here to lay down the law.
Yeah.
Clea steals a grandma. She's like, can I have this? And there's this weird, it looks like if you put E.T. out in the sun too long and it started to melt.
Yeah.
That's this alien. And she's like, come on, grandma, we're going to do an espionage. Okay.
We're going to do an espionage. That's perfect.
And every time they cut to this little alien, it was so funny. I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a new species.
There's that one scene where they're in the lift and she just goes, and then
what?
It goes, what? It was a very long scene for some reason, but we lost our minds. We were laughing. I think it's just because like the show is so serious that like a moment like that, this like weird, silly moment just like killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
And I think it's earned too, because hijacking a granny, if you need to get in through a hospital, isn't a bad idea. But of course, if you do that, the granny's going to granny.
Yeah.
What time did you say dinner was? 4:30. Oh, okay. 4:30. Okay. We have some more flashbacks of young Luthen and Clea.
We learn that Luthen and Clea were not their names before, because he was Sergeant Lear before.
Yes. Yeah.
And we don't know her name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe.
I don't think it was Clea. No.
But he gives them new names.
Right. And we kind of see how they start. Like we know now their cover is this affluent, what do you call that? Collections piece company, right? And they've got all these fancy decorative pieces that they sell for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And we see their humble beginnings where they're trying to sell up this thing
for $18.
Yeah, we know it's worth 40, but we're not going to get it. So 20. And the woman's like, best I could do is 7. I could go up to 9 if it has sentimental value for you. And if you smile. Like, ew. Yeah. Woman, don't do that to other girls. That's gross.
So we see Clea sort of flex her skills at bargaining.
Yeah, she's got a nice bargaining muscle that she likes to flex.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, my boy Zuli said he would give us 15 for this.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Zuli is a meth head.
Yeah.
That's literally basically what she says.
Yeah.
But she gets her to pay 18.
But
and
no smile.
No smile. Hilarious. Loved it. And as they leave, Clea's like, so am I your daughter now? Went into useful.
Yeah. It's a little bit rough.
We'll be who we have to be. Everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Let's eat, baby.
Yes.
But not these. We're going to use these to purchase food.
Yes.
And she like gets some information from a guard, walks by him. Then we get another flashback. Now they're doing a little bit better for themselves. They got better outfits.
Yeah.
They're selling a Deveronian victory necklace. What is a Deveronian, Phil? Do you know that alien?
It looks like a devil.
It's the devil guy from the cantina.
Yeah.
Classic Star Wars alien.
Yes.
It looks real. The one dude's like, is there more where this came from?
Not right now, but this is all I have.
But there's some stormtroopers in the town. They're rounding up a bunch of young people because there was, I guess, a sniper that shot a trooper the day before. So they're just rounding up random people. And they're like, there's about 5 or 6 of them. One of them has to be guilty.
Right.
Let's just execute them all in the town square. And Luthen's like, we gotta go. But Clea wants to stay and watch because this is like her, like, I'm in this fight.
Yeah.
I need to see what the stakes are. And there's just one funny little touch where when they shoot, there's this little alien that has like a large, big hat. And he's like, like, oh, it's too terrible to watch.
Yeah.
Love
Did you think the stormtroopers would miss?
I was a little worried.
Like it's like pew pew pew. Then it's like pew pew pew. Like take another.
If this was a movie, they 100% would have missed.
They would have missed, yeah.
Because the stormtroopers in the movies
terrible shots.
Suck.
Terrible shots.
Stormtroopers in Andor
never
scary
miss.
as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she catches up with Luthen and she's like, hey, when do we start fighting back?
Mm-hmm.
And Luthen says, hey, we fight to win. That means we will lose until we're ready, and we're going to lose a lot.
Yes, they have to pay a price now to earn their moment when they strike.
All you know now is hate. Keep that alive within you until you know what to do with it. And then we get maybe the greatest caption ever in the history of cinema. If you have the captions on, what is it?
Granny scatting. It's just the granny just like granny
This
scatting.
was the song I used to throw ass to back in the day.
Ooh, she's into jizz?
She is into jizz. So Clea has dropped the granny off to greener pastures, I guess. It must be. She's scatting.
Yeah.
And she's walking up and there's this one guard's like, oh, you can't be here. Bam!
Pew!
Ices him.
Dude, we got to talk about the way this guy sells this fall down the stairs.
Go for it.
His fucking head, his face hits every stair on the way down.
Yeah.
Was this a dummy? Because like, how the hell did this guy not die doing this stunt?
This stunt man made it his prerogative to just, hey, you ever seen someone fall down the stairs like this?
This has to be like a dummy, because I don't know how someone takes a hit like that to the face that many times.
Yeah.
And survives.
Was there like a in memory at one of these episodes?
Yeah.
It's probably that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, she ices that guy. I was getting so scared during this moment when she's creeping up because it's the hospital wing. It's got a bunch of windows. And you can see all the stormtroopers. And I kept being like, Claire, get the fuck away from the windows. Yeah. You're in a bright yellow scrub outfit.
Yeah.
You stand out.
Smocks.
Smocks. Yeah. As they call them in Star Wars. The doodars of scrubs. We get our last flashback. Now Luthen and young Clea are at a really nice outdoor cafe. There's a beautiful view.
They're having lunch.
Where do you think this is? Because
it looked like Naboo.
Yeah, this place struck me as Naboo.
But it couldn't. Well, you think it would be Naboo?
It could be. I mean, it's Imperial occupation.
True.
I mean, I don't know if it is.
We're not sure, but it looks like Naboo.
Yeah, it could be. And he's telling her, think about where you are, because there's a bridge that they have a eye line of, and there's like some Imperial tanks on that bridge, and they've got like what looks like a remote detonator. So they're seemingly going to blow that place up.
Yep.
But before they do, Luthen is giving her one last sort of test, and she's mad at him. She's like, you're backing out, old man. You promised me we would ice some fuckers today.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, look around. Life shows us what we stand to lose. I need you to accept what you're leaving behind, because if you cross this line,
you can't go back.
You can't have a happy life like this.
Right.
I need to know you're making a choice. I lived most of my life without realizing that this was a possibility. Ooh, I'm afraid of what I'm doing to you. Luthen does care.
Yeah,
I mean, Luthen is a very gray character.
Yeah.
But he cares about this girl.
Yes. Well, I think at this point in his arc, I bet you he cares more about individuals' lives than what he becomes, because I think like he sees I would imagine that Luthen becomes less and less concerned about individuals and more concerned about the cause, which is
for sure
what we see him as Luthen as we know him in the future. But
Cassian
at this point,
says it bent him. This life bent him.
Yeah. So at this point, like, it's clear that like Luthen still has some regard for like lives, which is why we see him not participating in the genocide.
Yeah. And so she's about to press it, and he takes it away from her and says, today it's real. And she's like, you said you lied. I lied. Get used to it. And he presses the button so that she doesn't have to get her hands dirty quite yet.
Skadoosh.
And he gives her a couple reactions because she immediately like looks over at it before it explodes. He's like, no, look at me.
Yep.
Then it explodes. Okay, now look.
Yes.
You're in the espionage business now.
Yep.
You got to hide everything. We'll be leaving now. Check, please. And they leave. Finally, we see Clea. She's making a run towards Luthen's hospital bed. She presses what looks like that same detonator and blows up a ton of ships that are in the parking garage of the hospital.
Yeah.
All the troopers vacate that floor.
Sure.
Except for one poor
like
guy. Oh, yeah, there's two of them. There's that one trooper who's like, hey, what are you... right in the face.
Yeah. She takes 2 shots, both of which end the lives of two guards.
She ice cold.
Yeah. And then she enters the room with her mentor.
Closes
daddy.
Mentor / daddy. Yeah, she closes the windows.
A daddy mentor.
I was wondering what she was going to do at first. Like in my mind, I'm like, girl, you can't save him. He's literally like, if you remove him from that machine, he's going to die. But that's what she's there to do. She's going to kill him so that he can't be tortured and the information get pulled out of him from the Empire.
Yes, she's going to quote unquote kill him. But I saw it more as like release him from the clutches of what's to come. So it's a mercy killing.
It is a mercy killing.
So she unplugs him from the air or whatever is going into the device that's on his chest.
Yeah. And we always knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
I think I always felt like Luthen was not going to.
I mean, he's not in the rest of the series. So,
so seeing him, I spoke to it at the top of the show, but seeing him killed this way, where it's not at the hands of the Empire, it's by someone, his most trusted person, is like
it's
adopted
pretty much
daughter
by his own hand.
Exactly how he would probably want to go out.
Right.
Well, maybe not exactly how, but like in a way where it's like, oh, I get it. Yeah, kill me. That's how you do it.
Right.
And she kisses his forehead. It's really sad. The troopers are coming back. She leaves. And then they do this long fade out of Luthen on the table by himself. And it's a bright white, like Luthen did the thing. He dies in light and he's no longer in the dark.
Yes.
His secret's out. It's a very cool metaphor shot.
Yeah. And it's the first real fade we've gotten with the show too. So it's a long
fade.
I feel like it lands better because of that. Because we've never seen that before. Like it's got that punch that we haven't had before. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Great way to end the first episode. Holy shit.
Good up.
Great episode. Loved it.
Yes.
And we just hung out with these 2 characters pretty much.
Yeah. The fact that we got that much of her and her backstory is huge.
Yeah. Much needed, I think.
I wonder if we'll see her again.
I hope so. Clea rocks.
Show. Yeah.
Clea's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go to episode 11. Who else knows? Which Disney Plus describes thusly. Cassian returns to Coruscant for one last extraction. Hirt is at the hospital. He's so mad. I love how Captain Supervisor Pissboy is just constantly like, I just want everyone to know these were Daedra's men. This was Daedra's op.
Yeah.
This was Daedra's hospital.
This was supposed to be my day off.
I'm supposed to be winning the pickleball championships right now, but Pissboy is mad. He's so upset.
And they think 3 people, like they thought that 3 people came in and...
At least 3 people.
Yeah.
This is such an expert job.
Yes.
And he really wants to blame Dedra. Dr. Recklaw, who runs the hospital, shows up and he's like, dude, you closed the hospital?
Yeah.
You can't do that. I'm in charge of the hospital. And like, arrest him.
Yeah. He's like, okay, point taken. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, the Imperials aren't messing around.
No.
This is a shitty...
Captain Pissboy throws his weight toward this guy hard.
Also, I'm going to need access to your security logs, please and thank you, but also I'll arrest you.
Yeah.
Dedra is she's in like the interrogation room from The Dark Knight, and and who's there to interrogate her?
Krennic at his most Krennic.
Yeah.
He is full on himself in this moment, like as we know him from Rogue One.
Yeah, he turns off all of the recording devices because he doesn't want this getting out, this conversation. And again, the framing of him when he shows up directly behind her and his face is cut off and he puts his hands on her shoulders.
Yep.
Fucking menacing.
Scary.
Yeah. And he's like, who else knows? And she's like, of what? What do you think?
Yeah. Young. Yeah.
Like, would I come down here to this piss hole if the urgency wasn't palpable?
Yeah.
And she says the Death Star.
Yeah.
Is that the first time we've heard someone call it that?
I think so. I think that's the first time we hear that phrase.
Because it's always been sort of referred to as the weapon,
right?
The Emperor's Energy Initiative. In Rogue One, it's called Project Stardust a bunch. They call it the Death Star in Rogue One, but
Stardust.
Yeah, so when she said Death Star, I got a little, ooh, she said the
felt good.
Thing. Yeah. Daedra.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Who else knows? She said, well, Partagaz knows.
And Young.
And Legret's brother says some shit.
Yeah.
Whoever Legret's brother is.
Tell me about the people I don't know about.
Yeah. Motivation's less pressing than the extent of your betrayal. So he is coming after her like she is a rebel spy almost. She betrayed the Empire. And she's like, what do you mean? Who told you about Galen Erso? Oh, that's when she knows she's fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I was tagged in some emails.
Yeah.
I
was blind CC'd on some emails I shouldn't have gotten. I kept them because I'm trying to find info about some stuff and like, you're not giving me any info. So like, I've got to claw the info from whatever way that I can.
Yeah. And it goes back to season 1 where she's this incredibly smart, incredibly capable woman. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, no one is allowing her to do her job. They're always keeping the information away from her. It's part of the way the Empire works, where Palpatine wants his commanders, his officers sort of like competing against each other. So it's this very like hold things tight to the chest, even if it might help someone else.
It's a toxic workplace is what we're saying.
Yeah, very toxic. So she's been taking every advantage she can get to try to find some sort of intel on Axis.
Yes.
And there was some information on 2 years of Jedha working group printouts that had some information about someone who worked with Axis, and she was using that information to kind of help build her case. Mm-hmm. And so she's not really interested in any of the Death Star stuff.
Right.
She's just using it to further her own agenda, which is to stop this man who's building the rebellion.
Right.
He's like, well, we know that Young spent 3 hours logged into your account. And then he does that weird little point on the top of her head.
The amount of times she gets manhandled by men on this show bothers me. But
it's rough.
It speaks to how the Imperials themselves are just pieces of shit.
Yes.
So, and he's just, and then he like grabs her face at the end too. Like he's just I feel bad for her in that way. Like she can't get a leg up on these guys because they're always just like, they're always treating her in a way that physically, like they're physically treating her in a very uncomfortable way. And I don't like it.
Well, up to this point, the Empire is really the only place, like they've treated her poorly, but they've sort of treated her, there's been decorum, right? They haven't put their hands on her yet. But now in this instance, Krennic is like,
Cyril
3 down.
Choked her in that.
Well, he's not an Imperial.
He's a wannabe.
He's just Cyril. But I'm saying like her work, the thing that she she dedicated her whole life in.
Right.
And now the one place where she was probably like, I'm safe here. It's changed on a dime because he's immediately poking her head, grabbing her face, shoving her down on the seat.
It's very condescending.
Yeah. And she's like, I had to be a scavenger. That information was buried. If Young used I forget what they call it, the thing that they use to log into things. I think it's the thing they keep on their uniform that looks like the little cylinder. Yeah. That's like their access key or something.
Yeah. Her vape.
Her vape. Yeah. If Young used my vape, I'll be real mad. But yeah, she said he stole it from me. Krennic's like, how does one balance passionate competency with the decision to confront Luthen on your own? He's mad that she did that. Mm-hmm. And if you did this and now Luthen's going to die and now he is dead, wow. If you're not a rebel spy, you really missed your calling.
Yeah, that's rough.
But she's trying to save face. She says, hey, he's got an assistant, Clea. She needs to be found. Oh, well, we'll do our best to carry on without you. And that's when he throws her down back on the seat.
I don't like it. Do not like it.
Daedra's not in a good spot.
No, it's not looking good for her.
Hirt goes and talks with the security. Oh, I'm sorry. Supervisor Pissboy talks to the security dude. And I love how the security dude's like, so what, you guys, he's like, can't see murder in front of him. No. Just like this whole dude's like, oh, my cousin's got maybe work in there
for the ISB.
Do you guys like baseball? Like,
it's like, well, then you should shut up and do your job, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're looking for information about Clea attacking the hospital, and this is actually pretty tense. Like with her like banging on the wall and cutting to them. Like I was getting like, oh, are they gonna find her? Yeah. Oh no.
Can we talk about how much of a slum this place is too? Like I don't feel like we saw.
It's rough now.
Like I think we've seen the hallway to this apartment before, but I don't know. Like it just, I think it hit me in this one where it's like, oh, this isn't a really bad place. Like this is a gross building.
The hallway, the floor they're on is way worse than the floor below it.
Yes.
I took it as just more of like a visual metaphor for the state of their welcome on Coruscant.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because no one's using the Heidi place anymore. No. Everyone's gone. They're the only two there.
Right.
I imagine they probably rented out the entire floor. And so no one lives up there, maybe.
Oh, okay. I didn't consider the other apartments on that floor. Yeah, maybe so.
But you're right. It looks disgusting.
Yeah, it's bad.
All the work that Bix did
scary.
A couple arcs ago, cleaning that place up, all for naught.
Yep.
Bix would be so mad. She'd be like, where are my towels? Where are my plates? What'd you do?
Yeah.
But Clea builds a little baby radio and she starts doing space Morse code.
Yep.
Meanwhile, on Yavin, we see Willman.
Well, he's limping, but he's good.
Yeah, that leg injury that he suffered on Gorman.
Yep.
Not healing.
Well, it's healed up to a point. Maybe it's still in the process of healing.
Yeah, I don't know if Willman's ever going to be in the trenches.
No, I think he's done. Yeah.
But he might be a good mechanic.
But he's got somebody to live for now, though.
Drina?
Yeah.
I honestly, let me be perfectly blunt. We're on a new planet.
Yeah.
And Drina's still in the picture.
I know, this is big.
Holy shit.
This is big.
This is big.
Yeah.
I think our boy's in love.
I think he is.
But he comes back home and Drina's like, yo, you seen another girl on another planet? I know how you be. Yeah. There's a transponder under the bed beeping. You want to explain that? And he's like, no time.
Yeah.
How long has it been beeping?
Yeah.
And he runs. Cassian is playing a card game with K2 and Melshi.
I love this.
This is everything.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you love.
I love that we get K2 in the way that we know K2 because a year has passed. So they've had enough time to like acclimate to each other and learn each other's relationship. So we've skipped through the like awkward first intro to Cassian and K2, and we're like right into them being buds. Yeah. Which, if you think about this too, if you watch Rogue One back when it first came out, you got the impression that Cassian and K2 had been buddies for years, but they were only buddies for about a year, which is crazy because like they work so well together as a team. I think seeing like how short of a time they had together and then knowing like how little time they have left, it really makes you appreciate just how well they click.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. It's really fun. And I love how Melshi and Cassian are having a great time playing cards with him. And he just doesn't understand bluffs. And we have played 862 games and this isn't a good move that you're doing. I don't understand it. But Willman spoils all the fun. I love how he throws the radio on the table. Like, whoa, there's a game going on. Come on. We cut to Supervisor Pissboy. He's updating Partagaz and Krennic about Clea. And this dude, Pissboy, is literally pissing his pants.
Yeah.
Because he's looking around like, why is Krennic here? This guy's scary. He wears a cape.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign if you wear a cape.
Yeah.
Usually you're a bad guy in Star Wars. But they're like, hey, put Clea's image everywhere. There's no horizon to the scope of your inquiry, nor will there be any limit to your effort.
And he's like, what do we say about this? And
I love how he's so like, are we charging her with sedition?
Yeah, like what do you want us to say about this?
It's so cool because he's obviously the most junior officer on staff because he was just an assistant last season.
Yeah.
And Partagaz is just like, look, obviously she's diseased. Yeah. That's the story, okay? Because then everyone's going to turn her in.
Yeah.
It's just, he's like bored with it. Like, come on, guy.
Yeah.
Help me out here. So he leaves, and that's when Partagaz and Krennic talk about the Death Star a little bit.
Krennic more or less tells here too, like, if you don't do this, you're dead. Mm-hmm. So you'll figure this out.
What's that line he says? Like you will find yourself a place on the ever lengthening ISB death march.
Yeah.
So a lot of ISB people are just being killed.
Ooh.
Like the Empire's just getting rid of their intelligence agency.
Motivation to do your job and do it well. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I like this conversation between Krennic and Partagaz. Partagaz, who has been sort of like the smart Imperial in the room, who's like, what are we fucking, this is a dumb idea, but I'm a team player. I'm going to help out. But because he's like, Death Star, what a prescient point of phrase.
Yeah.
And Krennic says that he can't protect Partagaz if he fails.
Leo
Partagaz.
Him, Leo, which
on a first name basis
speaks to maybe they have some history as buddies.
I would more Partagaz, please.
Yeah.
And more Krennic.
Well, I got some bad news, Steve.
What happens
about that guy?
He says it's a miracle we've kept this quiet so long because the first Death Star took forever to build.
Yeah.
And they kept running into delays, and they were like, Galen Erso was designing it as they went, and it was an awful thing. And Krennic does classic Krennic stuff like, we're this close. Just a day, a month at most, maybe another year.
A couple more tests.
Just a couple more tests. We haven't even put the fucking laser on the thing.
Yeah.
Just a couple more tests and we'll be ready, my guy.
Yeah.
Save the sermon for Palpatine. Best of luck to both of us because they both know that if they fail in their projects, they're fucked.
They donezo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We go back to Yavin where Wilman is telling the boys about the transmission. K2's constantly lecturing them about protocol. Like, does anyone want to know the bylines of the rule? No one seems curious.
No one cares. I just love how this feels like Rogue One at this point.
Yeah.
This scene, I think this is the moment where I was like, this feels like Rogue One. I am there. I am transported to my favorite Star Wars movie at this point. And I feel like that's the connection between those two that I was looking for, that I knew I would get at some point, but I think this is the scene.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here at last, baby.
Yeah.
Here at last.
Because that U-wing that they fly there is in Rogue One. Mm-hmm. So it's
so many things from Rogue One's in here.
But this is like when they're boarding the ship to go get her. That's when I was like, this is finally connecting all the pieces.
Yeah, they're talking about the transponder. It starts going off. K2 says like, oh, it's non-traceable. I assume you memorize this.
Yeah.
And that's when Cassian's like, we got to go. Melshi and I are going to go. Wilman, you're going to stay. Mm-hmm. I hear the Revnod talking.
Yeah.
Draven is furious.
Oh, he's pissed.
Oh, he's furious because they booked what do they call it? A test flight.
Yeah.
That doesn't need a flight plan or something.
Right.
And he's mad that anyone would just leave. And they're in space. And K2's like, do you want to know how many orders we've disobeyed so far? No.
Nope. Hyperspace.
17. Now 18.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Daedra gets visited by Supervisor Pissboy. I like how she's in the jail cell. She no longer has all of her Imperial ranks on her uniform. Her vapes are gone.
Her vapes are gone.
Oh, you know she scowled hard when they took her vape from her. And here's there to ask for
how's she gonna blaze?
Get me my lavender fruit soak and I'll do it. That's the worst. I'm sorry. I improv'd a name for a vape flavor. That was the worst vape flavor ever created. I'm sorry I put that on the world.
But wow, that was bad.
It's fucking terrible. When I say lavender fruit soak, what the fuck?
I don't know. It was bad.
Oh, but yeah, she's like Lonnie's best friend. We were never friends.
Yeah.
I know the feeling because she feels betrayed by him because he was kind of a dick to her earlier.
Yep.
And here's like, why is this so important? Why is Krennic like up my ass about this? Like, this is insane.
Any help you can provide, please send it my way.
He tells her from, she's stuck, and a speedy capture of this woman would only help her situation. So she's like, okay, go back to the start. They had to go find the radio. There was a radio on Ferrix. There's old frequencies. Look into that. It's my best guess.
Yeah.
So he goes out to try to find that.
Is this the last time we see her until the very, very end? I think this is her last scene, right? Until we see what ends up happening to her.
Let's find out.
Okay. Perfect.
I can't remember, honestly, if it is or not.
I think this is it.
Draven accosts Willman. He's like, oh, Luthen whistles and y'all go running. I thought we were a family.
And he was like, yo, bro, none of this would exist without him. So
confine this man to quarters.
Show some respect.
No. Supervisor Piss Boy, he's at Luthen's shop.
I love the technician.
Oh, she's great.
She's like, oh, like they use the broadcast. I guess there's like a tower nearby. Like they've
been using Imperial broadcast power for years.
And she's like impressed.
She's like, this is dope.
In the way that like a nerd who's like into this shit would be about that shit.
She opened up that case and was like, I knew there was a reason I woke up this morning.
Yeah. And like the imps around her are just like, whatever. Just, yeah.
You know, I'm sad that she's working for the Empire.
Yeah.
But I am happy that she found a field that she was meant to be in.
Yeah. She seems cool.
All she needs is a better boss.
Yeah. She's not working for the right.
I like to imagine that cut to a few years from now during Empire Strikes Back, she's one of the people on Hoth, like putting their ear to a headset.
She could have defected.
Yeah. A lot of rebels started off as Imperials.
There you go. Finn,
Biggs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Others. Crix Madine.
Yes.
There's one.
Yeah.
We go
Actually,
back.
Han Solo as well. Right?
That's true. Yeah, he was a TIE pilot for a time. Yeah.
There you go.
Team Cass makes it to Coruscant. No, she's never been to Coruscant. K2 is on one.
He really is.
I've been to Coruscant.
He's K2 in the way that I just love.
Yeah. I was in a parade there once. The Emperor was there. I'm sorry I missed that. Like, oh my God. So funny.
Yeah. It's good.
Clea gets notification that they're reaching out to her. Mm-hmm. And that's when the Imperial, fangirl of Radio Shack is like, whoa, guys, we got something. I was going to take this back to the lab and have my way with it, but this is even better.
Yes. So there's a 3-way call here that they don't know about.
Yeah, so we keep cutting back and forth. Team Cass are making their way to the Heidi apartment on Coruscant. Supervisor Piss Boy is getting a team together, a tactical team. Partagaz is getting in on the action. He's supervising it from a safe location. Mm-hmm. And Captain Piss Boy's team, there's a Garial and Sergeant Benzie. And they're just like gruff dudes. Like the one
he's
guy,
got like a mustache that rules.
Yeah, he looks like Scruffy from Futurama.
Yeah,
he's like, "Here you go, sir. Here's your armor that's useless." And Cassian keeps K2 in the ship. Classic Rogue One.
Sure.
Always keep K2 back there when you probably could use him.
Yeah.
But I understand it. They're trying to keep a low profile, and he does stick out.
He does stick out. So one thing real quick. We discussed this when we were watching the show. Is it weird that K2 is huge? He's like 8 feet tall or something?
Oh, yeah,
like
probably.
7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's seated in the ship, he's the same size as Cassian. So like, is that seat like way lower and deeper than the seat that Cassian sits in, or is that just like a weird like continuity thing that they missed?
Oh, he's got his own lazy boy. Like that's K2's chair. So here it's telling his men, we need this woman alive. They initiate a comm scramble in the whole area. So comms aren't working. Cassian can't talk to K2 and vice versa. There's one cutaway where K2's in the ship. Like, I don't like it here. Same. That's my dog whenever I leave him in the car.
Yeah.
I don't like it here. But K2 notices that there's something wrong with the comms. Cass and Melshi make their way up to the apartment, and Here it comes out, and he's got what it looks like
It looks like a PKE meter from Ghostbusters.
I know, right? Like, he's obviously not afraid of no ghosts.
No, he's not. It's like a weird, like, it's like a tricorder mixed with a PKE because like he holds it up at one point and these like 3 like colored discs like align when he points it at the right place.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like a location
signal locator.
Yeah. For the device that she built.
Yeah. So this little thing and the flash grenade that they have later.
Yeah.
Did these things seem oddly futuristic to you? Like, because Star Wars always has this sort of like 70s Futura aesthetic where everything's blocky with big light
chunky
buttons.
and weird. Yeah.
This thing was a stick that was all touch panel. Like, it looked very 2020.
I guess in retrospect, it does have more of a modern vibe than we're used to.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
for Star Wars, I don't think it breaks it, but it's just a bit of a different feel.
Yeah, just something I noticed. Like, you don't see stuff like that in Star Wars as often.
The flashbang didn't bump me because I feel like it looks a bit like a thermal detonator. So,
but it looked like it had like a screen in the middle of it that showed a timer, like a digital timer in it.
Yeah.
That was the thing that I thought was strange about it, but more so the Ghostbusters Ghost Finder. Cassian's in the apartment. Clea lets him in, and Clea is trying to tell them what Luthen died for.
Reveals the news to them too. Because he thinks that he's trying to find Luthen.
Oh, that's right.
They show up, and she answers at the door instead.
Are you sure Luthen's dead?
Yeah. To be fair, though,
that's a good question.
I don't blame him for asking.
No, not at all.
Because he didn't see it. Yeah. She's the only one who saw him die.
You're looking at the person who did it.
Yeah. But she's like kind of a mess though. Because she's like repeating like Scarif, Jedha, Gale, and Erso. She's like rattling off all these words that he doesn't know. And she's like, repeat all this back. And he's like, dude, come on. And she's like, no, you gotta understand this. Like, you've got to take this information away because who knows if I go, all this is gone.
Yeah. Also, I think the backstory that they added last episode is really important to what her character does going forward.
Yeah.
Because
this
is a woman that's her only ally.
Yeah.
Her whole life.
That's her rock.
Yes, she's had rebellion. She's had people that work for them. But literally without him, she doesn't know where she can go, who she can trust.
She's on her own.
She knows that the rebels sort of aren't huge fans of Luthen because of the way he operates. And he's literally the only person that's ever been an ally to her. So she's like, I'm fucked. I'm dead. I'm not going there. They're going to kill me.
Right.
Because that's what Luthen would have done.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And because of his twisted sort of way of doing things, she thinks everyone is like that.
Yeah.
And she doesn't believe that the rebellion will bring her in and allow her to rehabilitate herself and be useful for the cause.
Right.
So she's trying to like give Cassian the information because they need to know that, but I'm dead. And Cassian's like, no, just come with us. Like, you have friends
safe on Yavin. And she's not a real big fan of that because she feels like Yavin is not a place for her.
Yeah. Come see the place you helped build.
Yeah.
But I got a big question for you, Phil.
What's that?
Did we request an enforcement droid?
Well, they make the comment that they can't reinforce this specific raid because the rest of the troopers are out looking for a diseased girl.
Yeah, it's on full high alert blast. So all the other units are like, guys, we're looking for a diseased girl. This is top priority.
Yeah. So they send essentially a team of 4 and Captain Pissboy to do this.
Probably 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
Plus the dudes they leave at the shuttle.
Oh, that's true. There was another ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which K2.
But K2 just waltzes up.
This is scary. Like you just see. So you see him like kill a guy.
Are you with us? No. He just casually swats him off the balcony.
Smacks him. And then he walks up into a ship, takes out that guy. And then from the cockpit, you just see like down the whole ship and you just see his legs walk up.
Yeah.
And the guy in the cockpit, I feel like he sells this moment because he's scared. And you can tell he's scared because he knows there's no way out at this point. Like he's done. Like he can't get out of the ship because there's a droid in the way of the exit.
Yeah.
And he knows what's coming.
Murder bot.
Yeah. And they never show him die. They show the aftermath.
That you hear him on the comm screaming.
Yeah.
But to your point, they go back to that shot as K2's leaving. So the shot is always
from like the waist down,
cutting K2's head off, basically. Yeah. And so it just looks cold and scary, awful and terrifying. Yeah. And K2 just like waltzes through like all the Imperials guarding the building. Kleya tells Cassian, "Hey, you told me you were done once." Cassian responds, "And you told me I was wrong."
Yeah.
If Luthen couldn't swallow his pride, no, he stayed for this. He stayed for what I just told you. Tell the people on Yavin what they need to know, what they're up against. And the Imperials are closing in, and that's how the episode ends.
Yes.
We gotta quickly move on because I mean, it basically is like what a way to end it. Like holy shit, what? Yeah. So we go to episode 12, Jedha, Kyber, Erso. Oh my. Disney Plus describes it as Cassian returns to Yavin with intel that will change everything. But we're right back at the end of this episode. The Imperials are closing in. Kleya is still upset about having to go to Yavin. Melshi finally gets a word in. Like,
he gets a line.
I have agency and I am a character. Me, Melshi. This is a very tense scene. It's cutting back and forth between everyone. We already kind of talked about this, but K2 is making short work of the troopers.
I love
outside.
How no one shoots at him because they're all like, hey, like, are you on our side or not? But he like doesn't give them any indication that he's against them until he takes out that first guy. And the second guy should have not waited to attack. Like he should have shot this droid at this point because he just saw his coworker killed.
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy like didn't run or open fire or whatever.
This droid is clearly broken.
Yeah.
I can fix him. Also, K2 doesn't have blaster bolts on his armor at the beginning of Rogue One. So how are you going to get around that?
Oh, I mean,
Phil? That's
a good point. That's a very good point. It's a very good point.
I don't know why I'm so aggressive right now. I know. So the troopers are going down the hallway and the leader guy's like, "You can tuck in now, sir. We got it from here. Hide back there, piss boy." And so he does. He seems very relieved. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm good. So they hide behind he hides at one of the crawl or the doorways. We did kind of skip over that they went to the wrong floor at first.
Yeah.
And you knew it was the wrong floor because the hallway wasn't a horror movie.
It was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
But Melshi is the first one out in the hallway. And I love the way he sells this, where he walks out and the troopers put the spotlights on him like, "Don't move." And Melshi's like, "Oh."
He's very scared. Like he doesn't know what's going on because they don't know that these guys have like shown up.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking for Kleya.
Yeah.
So these guys could be a threat. They could just be dudes that live there, you know?
True.
But Melshi like, like runs back into the room. Cass is like, "Hey, don't close the door. We'll get trapped in here if we do."
Right.
And then they throw a stun grenade in there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It blows up. It knocks Kleya back and she hits her head on the wall.
But it misses Melshi because he's like a bit ahead of it. So they like throw it past him.
Yeah. And he's not like looking at it when it goes off. And so he takes cover and he's shooting at the guards so they don't, or the troopers so they don't make their way in. I do like the small little touch where when Cassian wakes up, he sees Kleya's knocked out, and instead of like going for cover, he like lays himself over her to protect her and is just wildly shooting because he still can't quite see.
Yeah.
But I thought that was like a really cool,
that was nice
touch of what a great hero he is.
Yeah.
And then K2 shows up.
K2 just makes short work of this whole team.
Dude, K2 grabs Captain Piss Boy
and uses him as a shield.
Yeah, breaks his neck, uses him as a shield, and that shot of the
Captain Mustache.
The mustache guy just like, fuck it, and just like shooting,
just wastes
his lifeless body flopping around with the laser bolts. That is like maybe the most visceral,
scary too
thing ever put to celluloid for Star Wars.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's crazy.
Cassian, I've cleared a path. And Partagaz is trying to scramble another group to get there, but his lie worked too good. People aren't taking them seriously because they're trying to find the sick disease person. He's been hoisted by his own petard, his own Partagaz.
Yeah.
Which, sad. But Cassian and K2, Melshi, and Clea, they make their way out of the apartment. They fly away just in time as the ISB, they're like
droids.
Police ships fly by.
Yeah, not droids.
We come back to Yavin. Mon Mothma is on a Zoom call with
got
Saw
classic
Gerrera.
Mon Mothma hair too now.
Yeah, she's got her classic robes,
Yeah.
hair. She's not like all dolled up.
Yep.
She's looking like she's been roughing it with the rebellion for a year.
Yep.
But Saw Gerrera is giving her the business.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me? You think I would trust you? All you do is lie. Also, your hair is bad.
Saw you're on Jedha. We know you're on Jedha. You're not on Jedha.
No,
It's like we know where you are, and he's just like, no, I'm not there.
we just wanted to warn you. There's a Star Destroyer out there. No, there's not. Wait, I thought you weren't on Jedha. Ah, shit. And he hangs up.
Shut up, click.
And Bail is there as well. He said he would join Mon at Yavin in a year. It's been a year. And there he is. And
Do you think he waited that long, or you think he got out before?
he timed it exactly to a year.
Okay, gotcha. Sure.
He's a man of his word, Bail Organa. So we see that even though the rebellion has finally come together, there's still Saul that's not quite there. The partisans are still operating on their own thing. And
fighting.
I know it was, I think the most controversial storyline of this entire season was Cassian's storyline in the first 3 episodes where he runs into the Maya Pei group on Yavin. I think that exists to show you how far the rebellion has come. There was no presence on Yavin 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And now the rebellion has gone from being an inept group of random people who didn't know where they were, lost in the woods, to now they're a fully functioning military force operating in secrecy on the very same planet where they couldn't get their shit together.
Right.
We get to see more of our favorite Rogue One rebels as well. Admiral Raddus is there.
I love him.
The U-Wing is coming in hot. Raddus says something like, "You're lucky Merrick's not here. He'd go out there and shoot him down himself." Do you remember Merrick?
No.
Antok Merrick, Blue Leader, the mustache general from Rogue One.
Okay, yeah.
That's Merrick. So it's funny that he's like, he would go out there and shoot him himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andor's flying in. They're worried they're going to get shot down because of, they broke protocol. They could be anybody.
Sure.
They got to protect themselves. The rebellion does. But Andor's like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Willman is out of his quarters. I thought he was confined to those, but he's out running around.
Seemingly got out.
All the soldiers rush the U-Wing as it lands. They're very hostile.
Guns drawn.
Guns hot.
Yeah.
She needs a doctor. But Draven, he's not an asshole.
Right.
He's like, okay,
yeah,
you can get a doctor. Who else is in there? Hello.
Yeah.
K2's the hello. And he says, I have important news. Good, because we're going to go talk to the Alliance High Council. Follow me. And we go into the room and we see a bunch of familiar faces.
Yes.
There's, of course, Bail, Mon Mothma, General Raddus is there. We also see
Pomlo.
Senator Pomlo.
Yep.
And Senator Jebel.
Okay.
Know where Jebel? This fucking guy. I just call him this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Because he, even in Rogue One, you're just like, dude, who even the fuck are you?
What is she proposing?
At least Senator Pomlo is in the Bad Batch doing cool shit in the Senate.
Yeah.
Who the fuck even is Jebel, dude? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Apparently he's the Minister of Alliance Finance.
Jabroni.
He's the penny pincher for the Alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he tells them that the connection, he tells them what Luthen found from Lonnie, where there's a connection between Gorman, Kyber, Jedha, Galen Erso. All of them don't believe him, and Bail says the problem is Luthen.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what he says is true? Also, maybe your relationship to him is making you a little bit less than objective. And Cassian's like, no, I disagree. I know Luthen, the good and the bad. And because I know him so well, that makes me believe that what he's saying is absolutely true. He died for this.
Right.
It had to have been important.
Right.
And everyone's being such a, like they're being really antagonistic toward Luthen, understandably so from their position.
Except for Mon Mothma.
Oh, she's being like strangely quiet. Yeah. She doesn't know what to believe.
Well, and I also think she respects him for getting her out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's very conflicted. She has a very conflicted past with Luthen specifically. Mm-hmm. And Andor says something along the lines of, it's insulting to hear him being run down by people who have given a fraction of his sacrifice to this rebellion. Right. Senator Jebel. Yeah. I do imagine he looked right at that guy's face.
Jabroni.
Yeah, jabroni. And Bale says this line that I thought was very important for this series. He said, a lot can happen in a year, don't you think?
It's true.
Every episode arc that happens.
It's true.
But he tells everyone that he's the one that rescued Mon Mothma from the Senate, which, if you remember, that's not something that people know galaxy-wide because the rebellion rewrote that story and made it more that Gold Squadron saved her and all this stuff. So not a lot of people know that. And General Radis is like, listen, guys, Jan Dodonna and Merrick, they're going to be back tomorrow. Yeah. Can all of this just wait?
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I was a little sad. I'm sad that Merrick's not there because he's a cool character from Rogue One. But also I'm really sad that Dodonna's not there because they recast Dodonna in Rogue One with, I think his name is Ian McElhenney. Mm-hmm. He plays Barristan Selmy in Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And he has like one line in Rogue One. I'm like, Barristan Selmy is such a cool character to recast for Jan Dodonna because the original actor's no longer with us.
Sure.
And I was excited, like, is Jan Dodonna going to be in these series of episodes and we get Barristan Selmy? No, he's just on vacation with Merrick.
They're on a mission, okay?
Fuck. But Bale confines Andor to quarters and he requests permission to visit the infirmary, and Mon Mothma's like, granted.
Yeah, she sticks up for him at this point.
Yeah. This guy, Tivik, who's hanging out in the rings of Kafrene, is trying to
stop calling.
He will not stop calling. Is Andor there? Can I talk to Andor? And they're like, no, and he hangs up. He's only going to talk to him.
Right.
But Cassian goes to the infirmary and visits Clea, and he apologizes. Hey, sorry, this isn't the hero's welcome I promised, but it's a lot to take in for them. And we kind of go all over the place from here. There's a lot of scenes where people it's just a lot of characters finding out that Luthen's dead. Wilman learns that from Cassian.
Vel
learns it from Mon. Mon asks Vel specifically, like, hey, talk to Cassian. I want to believe him. Help me believe him.
Right.
Go spy on him. Tivik's calling again for Andor, but he's not there. And then
there's Cassian there.
Is Tivik actually B2?
I was going to make that joke, but I didn't want to bring up B2.
Cassian?
Is Cassian there?
I only want to talk to Cassian. But Vel visits Cassian and he's like, will you drink to Luthen? Just this one time.
Yeah.
And they share a bond.
Yeah.
They've been together for a while now, like in the rebellion and with Luthen. And they do a toast to all the people they lost. Born, Nemik, Terramin, Cinta.
No Brasso, though.
Well, I thought about this. Vel doesn't know Brasso.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah, Vel doesn't know Brasso, and she's specifically toasting the Aldhani heist people.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, when we were watching it, we were like, I don't like this Brasso erasure. Okay. Dude's all bricked up for a rebellion. And then they say like, and then Cassian says something like, I've heard people claim they were at Aldhani when it happened. It's like, I would murder someone if I ever heard them say that.
I know.
Because it is one of those
stolen valor.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest moments that sort of led to the creation of the rebellion. So of course there are some dudes like, I was at the Aldhani heist.
Like that comedian who claimed that he was in the towers during 9/11.
What?
It was a comedian this? Like 10 years ago who claimed that. And then people looked into his story and they're like, you weren't there. And he's like, yeah, I wasn't there. And
God, what a dumb thing to lie about.
It's really
bad. So dumb. I did appreciate that, they're shouting out Born, Nemik, Terramin, and Cinta, but they don't shout out Skeen because Skeen
was
going to steal all that money. She says, tell me about Luthen. Mom wants to know if it's real. And he says, yeah, he died for this. None of this exists. None of Yavin or the rebellion exists without him. We wouldn't be here without him.
Right.
Kleya wakes up and she's freaked out. So she wanders on her own and we start hearing Nemik's manifesto from the first season.
Yes.
Remember, he was
very good montage too.
Yeah. Great monologue. Remember, Nemik was the true believer in the Aldhani heist. He was the young kid who got squished.
I like reducing him to the young guy that got squished.
The young kid who got squished by minis. It was actually a very shocking scene that he died.
I know, it was crazy, but reducing him to the young guy that got squished is very funny.
And Partagaz is listening to it. So at some point, they took his manifesto recording and it's starting to be shared all throughout the galaxy. And 4 years later, it's become such a problem that the Empire can't even they can't contain it anymore.
Yeah.
And Partagaz has this look on his face like, this dude's right.
Yeah.
Like, this room would be surrounded by all these supervisors, and we're constantly trying to inflict our will on people, and it's never enough. It's always failing in some way.
Right.
Because we're on the wrong side of history. And I think there's a little bit of regret in his face when he sees this. But Lugret shows up to take him downstairs.
Nice.
And he asks, who do you think it is? Yeah, just that one last, is this a guy who knows he's going to kill himself, who just wants to have one last little intelligence discussion with a peer? And that guy's like, sorry, man, I'm supposed to take you downstairs for the arrest. And he's like, can I have a moment to collect my thoughts? And I'm going to collect them all over the table.
I think he knows too, like at this point, like I got the impression that he understood what he was actually saying in that moment.
Oh, for sure. Lugret, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because Lugret goes outside and you hear the blaster fire and the troopers kind of startle and Lugret's like,
Yeah.
Let the man have his time in there.
Yeah.
He ain't going anywhere. Vel is leaving Cass and Vel brings up Bix, like, hey, you should check in with Bix at some point. And he says, she's not safe without me, or she's not safe with me.
Right.
I think that's kind of that ship has sailed. And Vel says she would disagree. Yeah. Don't wait too long, because I think Vel knows.
You think Vel has contact with her still?
I think she does.
Okay.
Based off like what she's saying, because I rewatched this scene last night after I left.
Yeah.
And with the new context of how we know this episode ends, I'm like, oh, Vel totally knows. And she's trying to like, come on, dude, go. There's a reason. You should go check in on her.
I don't know why Vel didn't say that.
It's not her story to tell.
Yeah, but if she knows and if she can.
And Bix is probably like, don't fucking tell him because he'll come running.
Maybe so.
But Vel be playing her games. And Vel runs into Kleya and is like, hey, can I keep you? And takes her back to her hut and again, like we said before, Kleya doesn't know what to do anymore. She's surrounded by people she doesn't know she can trust. She's scared. She doesn't know where to go. And Vel uses the old catchphrase, like, I have friends everywhere. You're with friends.
Right.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
K2 and Melshi have been released. I love how Melshi's like, they were tired of listening to this guy. That's not true. But Draven's there to tell Andor, hey, Tivik keeps calling. Why won't you answer his calls? He only wants to talk to you.
Right.
But apparently he can't do anything because Bail Organa's not, he hates Andor for reasons. And I think an important thing to note is while Luthen and Cassian and that whole group are doing spy crafting to help build the rebellion, at the same time, Bail and Ahsoka Tano are actually collecting the different groups of rebel bands and helping form the rebellion as we know it here. So Bail represents like this order, like this is how we do things. We do things right. We do it morally. We do it out in the open. By the book. And here's the shady group. And that's why he just immediately doesn't trust Andor.
Right.
Because of the two different ideologies of how to begin the rebellion. Draven and Mon, eventually they go and confront Bail like, hey, you need to hear us out.
Yeah.
Cassian is having a dream about his sister.
Which is the first time we've gone back to this story beat since season 1, like mid-season 1, right?
Oh, like the first arc of season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was looking for his sister, and his search for his sister led him to everything else.
Yes.
Like he wouldn't be here if he didn't try to find his sister. Never found her.
Never did.
I kind of like that little mystery that she's probably dead, and it was probably a futile thing for him to look for, but it led him here.
I think like purposefully not tying up loose ends can be good sometimes, because life is that way. Like you lose track of people and things aren't explained to you. I think that's a very real, very, very relatable thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
this show is like that. There's a bunch of stuff that is like,
sure.
And then people just kind of show up and they're in your life for a moment and then they leave.
Like the fact that like we never actually find out what happened to Tay. I mean, we assume like she crashed the car and that's why she was.
Well, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, we don't know for sure. Like we don't know exactly what happened with that interaction. And I don't need to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. And K2 remarks, it's always confusing waking up humans. The man you do not like is here. And it's Bail. He's come to talk to Cassian. He's changed his mind. You're going to go do what Draven says. Go talk to Tivik. If I die fighting for the Empire, I want to go out swinging. And Cassian laughs at that.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you and Luthen would have gotten along much better than you think.
Yeah.
May the Force be with you, Captain. And he gets ready to leave. And this is the end of the series where we get this dope shot of Cassian walking from his home to the U-Wing. And we get cuts to a bunch of different characters along the way.
Yeah.
There's this minor touch where before he leaves his hut, he waters his plants.
I love that because I feel like he's always been on the run.
Mm-hmm.
He never wants to put down roots where up to this point, like he's never put down roots. Him watering those plants to me was symbolic of him accepting the fact that Yavin is home.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm going to stay. Like I'm going to make sure that the roots of these plants get watered and thrive because this is where I'm supposed to be. He has accepted that his place in this story is here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he doesn't last long beyond this, but I like that. Like, I like that they put that in because that like when I forget what episode it was, but like he refused to make the safe house like a nice, comfortable place to live. And Bix wanted that.
Yeah.
So like him finally accepting the fact that like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I loved that. I thought that was a smart choice by the writers to include that scene.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because this whole arc is just a man who wants his independence and his quote unquote freedom. And he's being pulled away from that by this greater calling or this greater purpose that he's almost dictated by destiny that he has to do. Mm-hmm. And this is him accepting his place in the world and being at peace with it.
Yep.
But yeah, as he's walking through, we see Melshi is helping train the recruits. We even see a couple of the goofy little aliens from Rogue One in there. They run past Cassian. Willman is having breakfast with Drina, which... Can we just give Drina a round of applause?
Yay, Drina, you lasted.
She passed 2 insurmountable tasks that I thought. A, that she would be alive by the end of the show. And B, she's still in a relationship with Willman by the end of the show. So she's the real winner of Andor. Congrats to Drina. You did it, girl.
Congrats to Drina.
The underdog of the century. Mon and Vel are having breakfast together at the tent. Mon, even though she doesn't have her Senate finery, she looks like this is where she belongs.
Yeah.
She's with the people, being a leader.
Yes.
And Vel made it. Congrats to Vel.
Congrats to Vel.
Didn't think you'd make it this long, but I'm so happy to see that you did. We get this cutaway to Perrin on Coruscant.
Man, I did not expect this.
You didn't need to include this.
No.
But I love sad, depressed Perrin who's cheating on Scaldon's wife or with Scaldon's wife.
Right. She's like drunk and passed out in the cab.
Yeah.
And he's pouring himself a drink.
Yeah.
And like I didn't expect we would go back for him at this point, but the fact that we did, I know I just said that thing about how like not tying up all loose ends is sometimes good. I'm kind of glad we got this one because he's looks pathetic. Like he is miserable.
Yeah.
And good.
Yeah. He sucks.
Yeah.
Clea wakes up and sees outside her window some of the rebellion working together, and you can kind of see it in her face like, okay, maybe this can be home. Yeah. Maybe this is a good place.
Yeah. She's warming up to the idea.
Jedha is in prison.
And not just prison, but it looks like Narkina 5.
Narkina, the same
Maybe
prison.
Not 5, but the same style of
6.
Prison.
Yeah.
6.
But yeah, the hot floor prison. She's and they do the lights out bit, and she starts weeping.
Oh, it is brutal,
dude. That is something about that is. Oh, what a comeuppance for a villain.
It's worse than her like dying.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely
rough. But also that's the perfect way to close the book on her because we know from season 1 how bad that place was.
Yeah.
And they don't have to show that again. They just have to allude to it because we know she's never getting out of that place ever.
And she knows that too.
Yeah.
She knows the situation she's in.
Yeah. But
Jedha, you can sleep easy tonight knowing that you were also in a way still helping build the Death Star.
True.
Cass sees the healer that scared him a couple episodes ago, and he nods to her. He acknowledges her. He is comfortable with his mission. The Force is guiding him, and it's going to be with him. Saw looks at the destroyer over Jedha City,
which I think is directly pulled from
the shot
Rogue One, right?
The shot of the front of him, I think is 100% a Rogue One shot that they're reusing here. Krennic oversees the Death Star being built. And he gets into the ship with K2. There's a room and we have a flight plan. And get us out of here, K2. And they fly and they leave the rebel base on their next mission to go see Tivik.
For the rings of Kafrene.
But that's not it, Phil.
That's not it.
There's one last scene.
There's a huge scene at the end.
We cut to Mina Rao, maybe the biggest reveal
Planet
ever.
Wheat.
B2 has a friend. They're B2 and his buddy are racing, which is
playing
adorable.
Tag. Yeah.
I win. Yeah. Let's go again. But there's someone in the distance walking through the field. Who is it?
Bix.
It's Bix. And who does Bix have with her?
Baby Bix.
Baby Bix. We assume she could be nannying, but
technically we don't know it's hers. It could just be a baby that she has on Planet Wheat, but
it's implied that this is Cassian's baby with Bix.
Yes.
And she's holding that baby, looking at the sky, thinking, hey, when this war's over, we can be a family again.
It's rough. This is rough knowing that they're never going to be together.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I thought we would see a scene like this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect there to be a baby involved.
I didn't see that coming either. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They would have been together before she left, but and technically speaking, we don't know if it's his baby or not. We assume.
And you can also maybe like when she decided to leave him, maybe she knew that she was pregnant and was like, well, I can't fight anymore.
Sure.
And he definitely will not keep fighting if he knows that I'm pregnant. So I'm going to leave because she's in it to win. She needs to win.
Right.
We know that about her. I really empathize with this baby.
Yeah.
Because its foot gets caught on some wheat and it's get it off
tickles
me.
It. Yeah. We both pointed that out.
It's like, I get it, baby. Funny. That is, I would hate that too.
Planet Wheat is nothing but that.
But they get you that one last little gut punch there at the end. And
super sad.
Even though it's sad, it ends similar to how Luthen died. Like it's a sad situation, but it's filmed in very white light. You see the sky and that's how it ends. Because there's hope. There's hope for a future. Like, even though we know what's going to happen in Rogue One, there's...
And that's the building blocks for what, Steve?
Hope?
No. Like, what is hope the building block for?
Oh, rebellions?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's the theme of the show. Rebellions are built on hope. So they give you a sardonic but hopeful last image to end on.
Yeah. I think this was the perfect way to end this whole series. I really do. We had been on Bix watch this whole season because Bix is not in Rogue One, so we didn't know what her fate would be.
Yeah.
But knowing that she gets to live on what I think is the most idyllic, pretty place in Star Wars that we've seen yet, peacefully with her new baby and nice people, and B2 with B2's friend,
B2's buddy, B3.
I am so glad that she made it. And yes, we gave a round of applause for Drina and Vel, but like a round of applause for Bix for making it through.
Bix and baby.
Man, this is just, it was sad knowing that he's not going to make it, but I am very glad that she did.
Me too.
So
Bix, now we can continue Bix Watch into the millennia to come.
So I guess the question becomes, you think Clea went on to do big things after this once she integrated into the Yavin crew?
You know she did.
Yeah.
We just don't know what it is yet.
I wonder if we'll ever hear more about her.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Clea has become a fan favorite.
Yes.
If online discourse is to be believed, people love Clea.
Yeah, she rules.
I wonder if she ever gets into a room with Leia and they remark on how similar their names are.
Clea.
We need to talk to Princess Clea. I mean, fuck, Leia. God, their names are so similar. Execute her. Her name is too close to me. But we got a couple more things we got to fly through because we are running a little long. But before we do that, let's go to ads. Hey there, Stream Fiend family. As we step into May, the month of milestones, graduations, and fresh starts, we're feeling extra grateful for the folks who help us keep this show rolling strong. We want to take a moment to celebrate every single person who supports streaming things, but we really want to celebrate these real MVPs, our super patrons. These are the amazing supporters who pledge $25 or more each month, and their generosity powers everything we do. While people are tossing their caps in the air or getting ready for summer adventures, we're tipping our caps to these legends. So thank you to Sun-Loving Mortal, Xander Barbarian, Daniel Pack, Nice Guy Eddie, Tulun, Jordan Garvin, Albus Stinkpot, Haley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Jim E, Lady Trashley, Sean Myers, Just Liz Calabria, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, E Scramo, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Bluff Pump, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Upside Down Canuck, Big Butthorn, Jer Latanovich, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Jill Velez, Trisha Bueller, Alex G, Suzanne Rode, Jadinklage Morgoon, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, That Brenda, Aaron Armstrong, Seriously Black 82, Ashley Powers, Casey McCain, and Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things, but the celebration is just getting started. Let's get back to the show. And we're back. It's time to go through the last couple things we have, the last few segments. We're going to start off with our favorite moments of this batch of episodes, starting with our number 3. Phil, what is your number 3 favorite moment?
Clea infiltrating the hospital.
Ooh.
I thought it was super tense, and she did a great job. She achieved her goal. She mercifully ended Luthen's life to save him and the cause. And I thought it was a great scene.
I agree.
And the grandma was amazing.
Oh my God, the grandma.
That was just, I just love that whole scene.
I did not have that on my list, but when you said "and the grandma," should I put it on there?
You can change it.
Grandma scatting is maybe my favorite moment of the entire episode. But no, for the sake of fun, I'm going to say my number 3 is when Daedra confronts Luthen in the shop in the first episode.
That's a good scene.
Because, the stakes are already high and that doorbell rings. You're like, oh no, that can't be a good sign. Who is it? And it's fucking Daedra.
Yeah.
Whoa. And the way they do the tit for tat sort of dancing around it. And then suddenly the guys is all for both of them. And he's like, he says, there's a whole galaxy waiting for you to be disgusted by. Like, so great. And then he fucking stabs himself. Like, say what you want about Luthen. The man don't play.
He don't play.
No. But what about your number 2, Phil?
My number 2 is K2 laying waste to the guys in the apartment hallway. Just seeing him like exit the U-wing and just completely save the day. Just takes out the whole stormtrooper team. We see Captain Piss Boy meet his end in a pretty gruesome, crazy way.
Yeah.
At the hand of K2. I just like it. It brings me back to why K2 is such a useful guy in a fight. He is just, you can't beat him. Well, you can, but he's very hard to beat. So really liked that. And I thought that scene was great. What about you?
That's my number 2 as well.
Awesome.
K2's so rad. I love him. There were a lot of people online, and this is in reaction to last week's episode instead of this one, but they're like, oh, they're retconning K2 and Cassian and how they met. That's not how it's supposed to happen in canon.
How is it supposed to?
There was a Marvel comic in 2017 or 2018 that dictated the how these two characters met. And you know that meme of and I think it's James Franco from, I forget what movie, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, where he's got a noose around his neck. He's about to be hanged for the 3rd time in that movie. And there's a guy next to him crying and he just looks over him and goes, first time. Like that's what, like anyone complaining about that is like, oh, the movies are retconning what you read in a book 5 or 10 years ago. Like, oh, first time. Welcome to being a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. All of the extended universe stuff we read as kids is gone.
All the encyclopedic knowledge I have of like Tales of the Bounty Hunter, Shadows of the Empire, all that shit is not canon anymore, and I have to live with that.
Exactly.
What's your number 1?
The montage at the end, where we see the fate of Dedra and all the characters that we know up to this point, the swell of the music, just wrapping up all these people that we've seen through 2 seasons of the show. And then gearing up for what's to come. That whole montage was just, I don't think it gets better than that. It's exactly what I wanted them to do in this show.
Yeah.
I didn't have that idea in my head before I watched it, but when I was watching it, I was like, yes, this is what I've wanted this whole time. And I think it was just like masterfully done. And especially knowing the fate of Dedra was like brutal. I did not expect that. So having her get her comeuppance in that way was like, wow, that is rough. So I thought that scene was just amazing. I actually, had I had time and didn't have to drive Ashley to the airport this morning, I would have rewatched that before we did this, because I think that scene is so good.
Get you so hyped.
It does.
Yeah.
In fact, tonight, when I watch Rogue One, I'm going to rewatch that scene specifically.
And then
I'm going to watch Rogue One.
You heard it here.
I just think it's such a good way to marry the two and provide that handshake that I wanted. So that's my.
We all just want a nice firm handshake.
Yeah.
And this is the firmest of handshakes.
Yeah. What was yours?
That's an excellent pick.
Yeah.
This show overall, but these 3 episodes have so many incredible moments that I think it's one of those things, like, you know, when people ask you like, what's your favorite movie? And it just, your answer depends on whatever day, whatever mood you're in.
Right.
That's what picking my 3 favorite moments feels like now.
It's tough.
I could give it to Granny scatting.
Sure.
I could give it to that montage. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
I could give it to Krennic interrogating Dedra.
Sure.
That's awesome. But as I'm thinking here in this moment, sitting right now, my favorite moment was Cassian telling the Alliance High Council about the Death Star.
Okay.
That was the moment for me that was like, ooh, Rogue One.
Yeah.
I was getting the Rogue One feels because you had Mon Mothma and Bail and Palmo. Who the fuck is this guy? Fuck off guy. And Radis. Like all those dudes, and they're like talking. It reminded me of the Jyn Erso scene where like everyone's crowded around that same table. You get what is she proposing? That guy in the background. It reminded me of that. Like if you had Jyn Erso in there, just like pop up like rebellions built on hope. That'd be great. I don't know, something about that just really
it wouldn't have made sense in that scene, but yeah.
No, right. It'd be cool though, for real ones. And so it was great to have that feeling, but then also Cassian saying, I hate hearing that you guys are running Luthen's name down when he helped build all of this.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that man's name.
And it means more coming from him too, because those two haven't had like the rosiest of a relationship in the past. Mm-hmm. So like we've seen them butt heads probably more times than work well together.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that like he is defending him in this moment post his death means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my number one favorite moment.
Good pick.
But let's move on to our favorite performance.
I mean, I think we're going to be aligned on this one, right?
Are we?
I'm going to pick Elizabeth Dulao, who played Leia, because come on, like I did not expect to get this much of her at the end of this, and we did, and she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So
she knocked it out of the park. Yes, I'm giving it to her as well. The reason why I said, are we? Because I thought there was a world where like, it's obviously Alan Tudyk who plays K2.
No, you know what? Like props to him. He's great. But like he didn't do the lift that she did.
Yeah, she is doing a lot of heavy lifting. And it's so successful because just in these last 3 episodes, you know, all season they've been kind of building her up more and more.
Sure.
But in these last 3 episodes, it cemented her as like, oh, she is an MVP of this core group.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even realize it. And we were spoiled. We were blinded to it's like the grandeur that is Clea.
I think it speaks to just the fact that like everybody on the show, well, I think I said this last week, everybody who's been on the show absolutely kills it.
Yeah.
And trying to pick one person across the board is very tough. And as soon as you think like it can't get any better than this, someone in the main or supporting cast comes from behind and just like whizzes past, and it's like, whoa, I did not expect that. So she's the perfect example of that. She was great before this, but like this was her arc at the end here, and just doff my cap to her because she killed it.
My lady.
Yeah.
So congrats to Elizabeth Dulao.
Yes.
Congratulations to you.
Yes.
You win, me mispronouncing your name.
Yes.
But we have one last segment to go through, Phil. One final MadLibs. Let's get Gonk back in here. Hey, buddy.
Do we have to?
He's right there.
Sorry.
Yeah, say hello to Gonk.
Hey, Gonk. How's it going?
That's your child.
Yes.
Don't be a neglectful father. Don't be a Cassian Andor.
Hey, to be fair, he didn't know. He didn't know, okay?
Are you two ready to listen to the story that you helped me craft, titled Terrible Interrogator?
Aye, Captain.
What I saw today has been explored into my inner thigh forever. As an Imperial Storm ball gag, I used the ITO interrogator droid to nibble information from a prisoner.
Ugh.
I was looking for a rebel pleasure paddle.
Okay.
The interrogator droid began grinding immediately.
Oh no!
It was swollen.
Oh shit.
When a quivering booty cheek probe didn't work, it used sharp silk robes to get what it needed. The prisoner kept blasting gunk. That went on for 42 hours till his...
Oh, jeez. That's almost 2 whole days.
Gunk. That went on for 42 hours till his lower back turned colonial puce.
Weird.
When it was all over, I had the cocktail shaker I needed. The task was complete. However, I wouldn't stroke such a thing on my glistening enemy. Oof. And thus concludes Terrible Negotiator.
What a way to end.
What a way to go. Have you ever had your pleasure paddle grinded so much that it was quivering your booty cheek and had you blasting?
You know, I can't say I have. Question for you.
Answer.
Do you have all of the MadLibs that we've done up to this point?
Do I have
for the show?
Yeah, some in my booklet here.
And
they're not organized.
Do you have the ones that we did for the Star Wars coverage still?
Ooh, probably, but I'd have to go looking for them because they're in the boxes.
You should do a giveaway for all of the pages of those to one lucky listener who doesn't want them.
So they could be like, wow, Steve can't spell.
A piece of pod history.
Would you like to see how dumb I am? Write in now.
Yeah.
But Phil, there's one last thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gonk. As always, thank you. Go away now.
Thank you, Gonk.
There's one last thing we got to talk about, Phil, because we have a special announcement.
Okay.
Even though Andor is over and we are no longer going to be doing any more Andor coverage because there aren't any more episodes coming out, we're going to have one final Andor episode with you and I next week. It's going to be a combo episode. It's going to be a mailbag episode where you, the listener, can write in at streamingthingspod@gmail.com or DM me on Discord or Patreon, whatever's easiest for you. And we are going to answer any questions, any theories, any reviews, anything you want to talk about in Andor and Rogue One. Please send those in. We will read them out. If you don't want to say your name, just make sure you show that in your message so I don't read your name.
Yes.
But that's not all. We're going to do a very extra special part of this episode. Not only is it going to be a mailbag episode, it's also going to be a draft episode. People who like streaming
what kind
things.
Of draft?
A droid draft.
Ooh.
We are going to be drafting our team of droids. And then when we're done, you, the listener, can vote on your favorite one.
Yes.
We're going to have positions such as a sidekick, a leader, a battle machine, a utility player, a wild card, and of course, most fuckable. So in between answering your questions, we will be drafting our droids from the Star Wars universe and beyond. And beyond is specifically for the wild card position.
Yes.
And you guys will be able to vote on which of us crafts the best team after that episode releases. So again, send in any thoughts, reviews, questions you may have about Andor to streamingthingspod@gmail.com or DM me on Discord or Patreon. And let us know what you would draft in those droid positions if you want.
Yes.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Can I do my Discord thing?
No.
That I do all each week?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. Shout out to Michael B, Rebellious Angel, and Alexis this time.
Oh, 3 winners.
Yes.
3 all-stars.
I pretty much just look who's in the Andor Discord thread and randomly pick them.
Who messaged today?
Yes. And if you haven't been shouted out yet, I'm so sorry. Let me know and I will shout you out next week.
If you haven't been shouted out yet, it just means Phil doesn't like you as much.
It means I had too many friends. I can only pick 3.
What a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah, right.
Having too many friends.
Right.
But again, listener, if you like what you're hearing here, listen to The Last of Us coverage on Mondays. Andy's back. Kit should be back soon. We also are doing Game of Thrones and special movie month on Patreon. We just reviewed Hook. That comes out tomorrow. It's a lot of fun stuff on Patreon, including ad-free episodes like this one you can spot on patreon.com/streamingthings. Check that out. Check out our Last of Us merch. Go buy you one. And I think that's it from us for this week. We got to return some hollow discs. My name is Steve.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Steve, and this was Streaming Things, Streaming Andor.
Happy streaming.